What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be running through the 5 things I love about my Clio. There's been a lot of people that have, like other YouTubers, that have done this same video, and I was like, you know what, I'll do the same with my Clio because why not? So first things first is the first thing I love about my Clio are the extreme offset 5SP wheels that I've got. Now, I particularly love these because of the polished lip. I'm a sucker for chrome lips, and once the car is like clean and you've dried the wheels and you've dried the body, it just really looks amazing. Like the wheels just really set off the look of the whole car, and obviously the wheels are a big part of a car, and these just, I'm lost for words for them. They're honestly amazing. They're wrapped in Nankang NS2s, I believe, if I remember correctly. Stretch tires. They're 165s on a 185 wheel, so you've got a pretty decent amount of stretch. Really love it's kind of like a gunmetal grey, but it's a nice dark grey in the middle of the wheel, and then the chrome lip, and it's amazing. I love it a lot, and I'm not going to change them, I don't think. I really do like them a lot. Okay, so the next thing is the exhaust. I really like the exhaust, just for the pure fact that when you're driving around town in like a 30 zone, the pops, the bangs, the downshift burbles, just all that stuff, it just sounds really good. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of people saying, oh, it's a cheap exhaust and all that, but honestly, I don't really care. But it's a Hornet exhaust, Hornet straight through exhaust to the Cat. Now, I mean, people are going to moan either way no matter what exhaust I had, so I couldn't, yeah, whatever. But it gives a nice chrome polished like tip on it, and it sticks out the bumper just a little bit, but not too aggressive. But it does sound actually really nice when you're driving through towns. Different story when you're driving at 60 or 70. But aside from that, it just sounds amazing driving through towns, and it's not too loud. Like, you can modulate the throttle so it's not too loud but not too quiet. You've got that nice in between, especially when you're passing police cars or you've got one behind you. Totally know how to do that. So another thing I really love about this car is how cheap it is to run. Now, I pay my insurance monthly. I'm only £101 a month, roughly, give or take, for the car, with the wheels, exhaust, steering wheel, tints, sun strips, and just all the mods on the car have been declared, and I'm only £100 a month. And it's crazy how cheap it is, and I'm only 19, and I've only got 1 year's no claims discount, which basically means, if you don't know, that once you've been driving for a year and you haven't crashed in that year, then you get a discount on the next time you pay for insurance for like the year, sort of thing. I guess that's the best way to describe it. But no, it's really cheap to run. The tax, obviously, being a petrol, it's going to be kind of expensive unless it's like a new petrol where it's like half hybrid, half petrol. But I pay that monthly, so I'm only roughly about £15–16 a month for tax, which on top of the £100 for insurance really isn't that bad, to be honest. It's actually really cheap, and a full tank costs me about £45–50, and just now it's about 40 because fuel prices have just dropped through this whole pandemic that's going on. But usually about £50, and that gets me about 550, close to 600 miles on a full tank. So I love how crazy cheap it is to run. It's incredible. Now the next thing, the fourth thing I really love about my Clio is how low it is and how it sits in general. I forgot to mention as well, the wheels are 15-inch, so obviously that'll drop the height just a little bit, like closer to the ground. But it is on TA Technics, fully adjustable coilovers on the front and gas suspension on the rear. Now, I didn't install them, but that's what I've been told they are. and I love how low it is. It is actually really nice. Again, driving through town, it's really nice to drive, but the only downside I do have is you have to avoid speed bumps unless you're gonna like, I can't remember what it's called, but like basically swivel over it, do some wizardry, and just try and climb over it, I guess. But aside from that, you know, there's not much speed bumps where I live, and the roads can be a little bumpy, but it doesn't bother me. Like, it's really nice how it sits. Like, if you're going to the shops and you park in the car park, you're coming out from the shops, you know, you've got your bags of shopping, and you're coming back out and you're looking at the car, you're like, you know, that's sick. That is sick. And I've had actually a lot of people compliment me, like say when I'm just coming into the car park, jumping out of the car and way to go in and get the weekly shop, you know. I've had people ask me, you know, that is cool, like what have you done to it, sort of thing, and like, oh, that is really nice. You know, I've had a lot of compliments about the car, and that's just one thing I really like about it. It gets a lot of attention, and I know I don't want to seem like an attention-seeking person, but I do like the amount of attention it gets, purely because it's nice seeing that other people like the car I drive, which is just, I don't know, it's just a nice thing. Now the next thing, the fifth and final thing I love about this Renault Clio is that the paint itself has been really well looked after. I do know that not the previous owner, but the owner before, the one who actually built this car, and if you don't already know, no, I did not build this. I bought it like this. Has been a couple things I've changed mechanically, because it was just a little bit bodged, and it wasn't quite to how I'd like to have it, sort of thing. But the paint condition, so the person that built this car, I do know that it was ceramic coated in their ownership, but that was roughly about 2 years ago now, give or take, and it was kind of wearing off in some spots, like the rear quarter panel on both sides and the bonnet. The water was getting flat. If you don't know what that means, if the water's not going into like little tiny circles when there's been water on the car, then you know your paint's flat. There's not really any protection on the clear coat. And being a detailer myself, running my own detailing business, I don't really like seeing that. So fully cleared out the car, repolished it, and I ceramic coated it as well, all by myself, obviously not in my driveway, but I did do that, and the paint is insane. There's no swirl marks, there's no scratches, apart from the minor little defects on the rear quarter panels, which I'll get to. Apart from that, the paint is immaculate. Like, if the sun hits it right, like sometimes when I'm coming out in the morning and say I'm grabbing like my phone charger I left in the car or something, and the sun's shining down on it and it hits the car just right, you can see all the you can see the flakes in the paint, and it just looks amazing. Like I've had some, well, this is my 8th car now. This is my 8th car, and the only other car that I can say that I've really loved the paint on was my last car, my Suzuki Swift Sport, and it was good, but it was nowhere near as well kept as the paint on this car. And yeah, it's just amazing how immaculate the paint is. Like, it's just insane. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. The 5 things I hate about my Clio, I am going to put up in the next couple days, so look out for that. But thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot that you guys are even just watching these videos, considering I haven't even been doing YouTube that long since I've restarted. I've been doing it maybe like a week, and you might be wondering, oh, you have 3K subscribers. Yes, that's from years ago when I used to upload Forza, but if I was to start fresh, I'd be nowhere near where I am just now, which is insane. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.